Welcome to Fake Presidents, a real podcast about, well, you know.
Each episode will take a deep dive into a fictional American president from pop culture to see just how much fiction there really is.
We're two former political junkies. I mean, technically, I guess the evidence shows we're not that former since we've spent the last 4 years doing this. As of the time we started this, we were two former...
We're still two former. That hasn't changed.
Political junkies who do like talking about politics. We just don't like talking about actual real-life politics.
Yes, because it's just too damn depressing.
Oh, yeah. I'm Eric Buckman, a former political consultant turned TV writer.
And I'm Ben Oren, a former journalist, sometimes speechwriter, and all-the-time TV producer.
And today, before I say the title, which everyone knows they saw it in the podcast feed that they're looking at, but before I say the title of what we're covering, I just need to gripe real quickly about the fact that...
Is this an episode of Buckman's Gripes?
Look, it's not a tangent. This is on topic. It's on topic of why we chose today's topic. First kid, I think, really might not have been our first choice, or second, or many down the line. But
it works. Somehow it's relevant.
Oh, yes, it is. In more ways than one. I can't wait to get into that. We might have more to say during our background section than the actual main topic section. Look, this has been on our radar for a while. There's two Disney Channel movies, or Disney movies I wanted to do. One was a Disney Channel movie called My Date with the President that came out in the late 90s that apparently had a really big impact on women of a certain age that I want to cover. But it's not on Disney+. This was an actual theatrical release by Disney, is on Disney+, so that's why we're covering it. But it was not our first choice because we went through so many 90s and early 2000s relatively well-known movies.
Not deep dives.
Not deep dives. That, I'm talking a number of Jack Ryan movies with fake presidents. Armageddon. I noticed that Richard Belzer played the president in Species 2. And these
Richard
are movies,
Belzer played the president in Species 2?
I thought that'd be fun to do. And none of these movies are streaming anywhere on any services. And it's like, what's going on? Why is there this memory hole for fake presidents from the 90s and early 2000s?
That's bizarre to me, considering the oddest content that's on Netflix right now, where I think it was yesterday, 4 or 5 of the top movies on Netflix were Lifetime or Hallmark movies.
Really?
Including, I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram, The Amish Stud, the Eli Weaver story.
Ben, did you not see my heart? My like?
Oh, yes, you liked it. You did like it. You're a supporter. But man, those are the movies, but I guess it's what people like.
Is there a fake Eli Amish Weaver president? Could there be an Amish president?
I mean, that would be a pretty good movie.
I would see that.
Of course we would see it because we have this podcast. Yeah. We have to see every
movie that has a president. I mean, they couldn't see it, the Amish people, but no. we could see it.
It could be described to them. They could read the script. They could give notes.
I mean, I guess during their Rumspringa. I mean, can you... How'd that work? You're going to Rumspringa, you discover, the American political system, and, and you decide, I want to make this work. I don't want to go back to my barn building just yet. I want to go into politics. Could you get an extended Rumspringa?
I don't see why not. You go to you go to Jebediah, you go to Zebediah, you go to any of the Dias. Yeah. Ask really nicely. They stamp your Rumspringer card. Say keep on springing, yo.
That was a reality show. You were involved in that reality show, weren't you?
I've never worked with Amish people.
No, because there's been a couple. I think
I've shot in towns that have had huge Amish populations, and that affected production because you're trying to get to set, but you're stuck behind a horse and buggy.
Got it. That sucks. Also, they're dry counties, which really affects how you're able to go about your day.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so first kid. I don't have a transition, Ben. Let's just get into it.
Let's get into it.
My name is Andrew Shepard, and I am the president.
This is peak mid-90s movie.
Very 90s, cute kids. I use cute in quotation marks. Ostensibly cute kids having to deal with adults who are overly frazzled by them. That is the menace trope that took off big time after Home Alone.
Yeah.
So we saw a run of the Home Alone movies, Blank Check, various problem children, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was first the same child, but then it became other children.
Yeah. And then, of course, you wind up with the White House variant. Clearly inspired by the fact that at the time this was made, there was a child living in the White House.
Yes, it was Miss Chelsea Clinton.
Yeah, who kind of has a cameo in this one. Her name appears.
Yeah, her name appears in the secret room in the White House where the children... The secret... room in the White House where children scurry off to? Oh.
where children disappear to.
Our Patreon followers and our QAnoners, they know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They know what we're talking about. But yeah, First Kid came out in 1996, summer. It came out the end of the summer. It's like a summer burn-off movie, right? It came out essentially Labor Day weekend.
It came out
1996.
August 30th, 1996, which actually tracks with when the movie takes place. This is because it's an election year, and the movie takes place during an election year. You know, it stars Sinbad.
Let's start off with the creators of it.
Of course.
The people behind the camera. It was directed by David Mickey Evans. He has many credits, but to me, there's only one credit that matters to men of a certain age. He wrote and directed The Sandlot. That's like a perfect movie for kids. It's like the perfect kids movie. The Great Hambino lives in my neighborhood. I see him all the time.
Oh, wait, who was that?
Patrick Reina?
Which one's that? He's this freckly
kid?
The
Great Hambino.
I haven't seen that movie in so many years.
The fat kid.
But he's the freckly kid, right?
Yeah, the fat, freckly kid
really?
is the catcher.
Because I've seen him too, but not here in L.A. I saw him on an airport in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, my goodness.
Like,
well, you know why he goes I know why he goes to Florida.
Is he a Scientologist?
He is a Scientologist.
Are you serious?
100%.
Oh, that explains why I see him on the closest major airport to Clearwater, Florida, which we've well covered. I look forward to the headline one day to find out where he dies.
We're all gassed today. We haven't even hit the good stuff yet.
This is our first daytime recording in a while.
The energy's just different. So he's done movies for kids. He understands the beats. He understands what kids like. He didn't write it, though. It was written by Tim Keller. Mm-hmm. Not surprising, based off of, after seeing this movie and looking up his credits, that he's done a lot of TV. 2.5 Men, Living with Fran, a few other feature credits. He wrote Grudge Match. He wrote the original script for it because the other writer on it, Rodney Rothman, they're not writing partners. So it probably got a good old punch up by a younger writer.
Yeah.
But he's had a long career. He understands jokes, understands pacing. I mean, there was no story to this movie. We'll get to that, really.
Not really.
It felt like a really long TV pilot.
It's produced by Disney. It did come out at the beginning of Oscar seasons. It came out the end of August. Yeah. So it ushered in the awards season of 1996.
Yeah, that was the big push for Sinbad to get nominated for an Oscar for his role of Sam Sims, Secret Agent Sam Sims, Secret Service Agent Sam Sims, played by Sinbad. By the way, I love Sinbad.
Yeah.
Can't really say anything bad about Sinbad.
No, he's so affable. I think he's the person, like you look up affable in the dictionary, you will see Sinbad. He was a comedian, huge comedian, headlining comedian throughout the 90s. A lot of comedy specials. They tried to do TV shows based off of him. They tried to give him starring roles in movies. Nothing really took there, but his comedy career never took a hit as a result.
I mean, he was on A Different World. Later on, he was in movies like House Guest, Jingle All the Way, which has a fake president, which I discovered, which we'll do coming up
next Christmas.
He had his own show, The Sinbad Show. He played the genie in Shazam.
Nope.
Yeah, I saw the movie. There was 2 genie movies out in the same year: Kazam starring Shaq and Shazam starring Sinbad. You never seen that movie?
Ben, you have no idea how much the Mandela effect annoys me anytime it gets invoked.
I don't even know what you mean, man. He didn't get slimed. I felt like he won a Kids' Choice Award for it. He got slimed. He was dressed up as a genie when he got slimed. No?
The reason why the whole idea of the Mandela effect annoys me is because
Do you want to tell people what the Mandela effect is?
Yeah, it's when somebody who's mildly racist confuses their black people from the 90s.
That is not what the Mandela effect is.
The whole thing is based on the fact of somebody assuming that, wait, I thought Mandela died in jail a long time ago when I was a kid. You mean he's still alive? Oh, my memory can't be bad about, black history.
Therefore, I was more about the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstain Bears. How is that racist?
It's anti-Semitic. I think it's gone too far, the Mandela effect. I just say. What was a mild curiosity of some sort of collective amnesia over certain things, such as the Berenstain thing, gets used to justify people just having really skewed memories of cultures that are not their own. I'll just say.
Oh, I don't know. He made me laugh really hard in that movie. So, co-starring in the movie as the first kid, Luke Davenport, is a young actor he was young then. He's not young now. He aged.
Brock Pierce.
Brock Pierce.
Let's circle back. Let's stick a pin in Brock. We'll come back to him after someone more of the cast. I want to talk about Brock.
Also, a mentor to Sims in the movie, Secret Service agent Nick, was played by Robert Guillaume.
Yes.
Guillaume.
Robert Guillaume, who
Benson.
no stranger to politics on television and movies. Benson, he was the governor's butler, who I believe by the end of the run of that show was the governor of himself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I believe it. The kind of like the second bad guy, the nemesis to Luke Davenport, was a dickish little kid named Ron MacArthur, played by Zachary Ty Bryan from Home Improvement and from Mugshots, recent Mugshots.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. He got in trouble?
Some troubles. Got in some troubles.
Not. This cast is kind of a little full of
A
that.
lot of troubles. Sonny Bono
He appears in the cameo as himself.
Usually we end with the person who plays the president, but I don't want to end with that.
No.
I want to talk about the president, the guy who plays the president first.
Yes.
Then we could talk about the other actor in it, and then we could circle back around to Luke Davenport, Brock Pierce.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a
I
good
think
order.
That's the order.
That's a good order. So the president, Paul Davenport, is played by James Naughton, who's
Yes.
a stage actor. He won a Tony for Chicago.
If you don't know the name, which you shouldn't know the name, you know the face. If we could somehow beam this guy's visage into your brain right now, you will have recognized him from everything.
He's a New York actor. You know, he does stage. He does all the New York shows, the Law and Orders, Gossip Girl, just like that. Like he does, the cabaret shows in New York. He's like a dude. He's like an acting dude who's been around for a really long time.
Yeah, you've seen him on like every procedural you can imagine from the 90s and early 2000s. In fact, he was even in a medical political thriller starring Toni Collette from the 2013 season. Toni Collette and Dylan McDermott, where Toni Collette is a surgeon whose home is taken over by terrorists.
Ooh.
Because she's about to operate on the U.S. president, and so they take her whole family hostage so that she will make a mistake on the operating table to kill the president during the surgery. By the way, it sounds like a movie, right? No, not a movie. That's a 26 episode.
I feel they could have wrapped that up in about an hour 45.
Yeah, maybe it was intended to be a mid-season show, only 12 episodes or whatnot. It was a TV series in which he played the president in that.
Well, good for him. See, the dude works. And then we have the bad guy in the movie. Chief Nemesis, a Secret Service agent, Woods. His job in the top of the movie is to watch over the first kid closely.
Yeah.
And turns out that this actor is none other than Timothy Busfield.
Which we should say, it's only because as we record this, if you were to go to Deadline or Variety or People or TMZ, a number of websites are reporting the fact that he is currently under arrest in the state of New Mexico for allegedly abusing some minors who he worked with on a TV series.
Yes. And this movie does not help his case. It is as if Keller and the director, DME, knew something. And they were like, nobody's going to believe us, so we're going to plant the seeds in First Kid so that when the truth comes out, they'll see, this dude touches kids a little too freely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his defense that they've already offered via his attorneys, via public statements, is that the child actors who are accusing him of abuse were let go from the TV show that he was an EP on, and so he blames it's a retaliatory act.
Yes.
That because he didn't bring them back, they're lodging these complaints.
But as the still that I sent you, Eric, with closed captions on, shows a scared child with the first lady staring at Timothy Busfield, and underneath it says, "Don't ever touch him that way again."
Oh, I saw the still.
Yeah.
That one did not make his Deadline profile.
No, this is what the PR side on the other side should just. This is it.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, they knew. First Kid knew. Hashtag trending. So you wanted to circle back to Brock Pierce.
Only because I assumed that Busfield would be our most problematic discussion of this episode. Especially because on the Wikipedia page of Brock Pierce, his most problematic aspect seems to be the fact that he's a crypto bro.
He's a crypto bro, yeah.
But not just a crypto bro.
He didn't do that many roles after this. He played young Gordon Bombay in the Mighty Duck movies. That's my only reference point for him.
But no, so Brock Pierce, I first thought, oh, he's a crypto bro. He's associated with a lot of businesses that their legitimacy might be questionable. He's clearly made a lot of money in crypto. Forbes has estimated his net worth in the high multi-centimillions. I don't know if he's quite at the billionaire level yet, but he's up there, according to what's publicly known about his crypto portfolio that Forbes felt comfortable reporting on. But that said, he's not just a crypto bro, because not on his Wikipedia page is something I discovered that I saw on his IMDb page.
Okay.
I noticed that he had an archive video appearance on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Oh, really? What was the bit?
It was an episode from 2018 on cryptocurrencies where, John did his thing where he spends 20 minutes really deep diving into, which at that point, cryptocurrency for the masses, you probably could have used an explainer on. And so that's when I discovered that this guy, Brock Pierce, isn't just a crypto bro. He is the crypto bro, who I should also mention ran for president in 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, so it does intersect with real life politics. He was an independent with strong libertarian beliefs, although part of his platform was things like universal basic income based on crypto, single payer healthcare. There's some progressive things mixed in with the whole isolationist thing also, the whole libertarianism and whatnot. But none of that gets mentioned on Last Week Tonight, because Last Week Tonight focuses on his attachment to a business that's raising over $1 billion despite doing nothing.
Just look at Block One. It's a startup whose coin offering has so far raised $1.5 billion. And that is despite the fact the Wall Street Journal described Block One as a software startup that doesn't plan to sell any software and describes what it's selling, a digital token, as having no purpose.
Yeah, so?
So he's not just a crypto bro, he's the crypto bro, the spokesman for crypto, more or less.
Everything will be better, faster, and cheaper. Everything will be more connected. Everything will be more trustworthy. Everything will be more secure. Everything that exists is no longer going to exist in the way that it does today. Everything in this world is about to get better.
Oh, please, douche.
And John Oliver, he encourages his audience just to Google the words Brock Pierce scandal.
Now that sleepy, creepy cowboy from the future is named Brock Pierce. He began his career appearing in The Mighty Ducks and in a Gushers commercial as a child who turns into a banana. Well, that banana then got involved with some very unsavory figures. Just Google Brock Pierce scandal is all I'm saying there.
Ooh, should I do that now?
So I Googled the words Brock Pierce
Wait,
scandal.
don't spoil it for me. Brock, BROCKPERCE, scandal.
And by the way, this was in 2018.
Oh my God! No, I didn't even come up yet. My internet was a little slow.
So this is in 2018 when he asked you to Google this. We're now in 2026. Oh. So we'll see different results.
Oh, is there some Epstein stuff?
Yeah, he's on the Epstein list, Ben. There was a very thorough Hollywood Reporter expose piece done in 2018, 2019 that directly links him to the most famous child predator of all time.
Are we going to have to put up like a little poll, like, who is the most problematic cast member in First Kid?
Get off my plane.
Well, let's talk about the plot of this movie. Let's bang through it, because it doesn't matter as much. So let's go.
Yeah, so you have a very lonely kid living in the White House causing trouble for his mom and for his Secret Service agent, played by Timothy Busfield, who is quite frankly getting sick of this kid's, shitty, entitled act.
To be fair, the kid is definitely an asshole.
Yeah, he starts off as an asshole. He's about to start a new school. His mother wants to take him to get some new clothes, which is weird because we find out later that the school has a uniform, so not sure what the new clothes is for. But they're going shopping. The kid has an attitude about it. He doesn't really want to go shopping.
It's about because it's about the performance of like we're regular people.
We're regular people going back to school shopping. Yeah. The kid doesn't want to do it, and this is when the mother does order the agent to get him into the dressing room. I guess the agent then just
gets a little too handsy. That's where we get.
Ben's holding up the still.
Don't ever touch him that way again.
Yeah, where Busfield.
Timothy Busfield.
Busfield's very frustrated.
That was weird that she said Timothy Busfield and looked directly to camera. And she did a hashtag thing with her fingers. First Kid knew.
The Secret Service agent played by Timothy Busfield does quite literally manhandle this person on camera, getting the ire of the first lady. He's basically fired almost on the spot.
Yep.
But not before the son, who does make it into the dressing room, decides to pull a little Bart Simpson and moon the cameras.
Gives a little moons.
Of all the press, yeah.
Shows off the hammies. Yeah.
And so that results in a changing of his protective detail. And he winds up with now Sinbad getting promoted from, general field agent doing like advanced work, cleanup, stuff like that, to now getting his first real protective detail, which he views as a step to one day being on the detail of Eagle, which
That's
is
the dream. That's the dream. But he gets the note from his superiors that you're a good agent, but you joke around a little too much.
Yeah. And of course, he finds out his detail is for the first kid, and his attitude is, hey, he's just a kid. How bad can it be? And based
it's not that bad. It's just harder than he expected.
A little harder. Yeah, based on the events that follow, it's actually not that bad at all. Like the movie feels like it might have been watered down a great deal from some original version that might have been a little more edgier.
I doubt it. This is like a 90s kids movie. It's all very TV friendly, It's like, it's hard when your dad's the president. He doesn't fit in at his school. He's starting high school. He gets bullied there. Sinbad teaches him how to defend himself. And he winds up getting lured out of the White House by Timothy Busfield, who wants to be a Secret Service agent again. And is like, I'm going to get him out of the White House, and then I'm going to return him to the White House, and I'll be the hero. And then he just goes crazy, and Sinbad saves the day. That is literally the movie.
But now we should get into the president scenes, because those two weave in.
That's the main. That's it. I think we just go, let's talk about Paul Davenport. President Paul Davenport. Where do we first meet him?
The night that Sinbad is assigned to this duty, he goes to meet the kid, and the first thing he has to do is handle the kid's snake, and that sounded a lot worse than I intended for it to come out. No, Sinbad, he finds himself wrangling this python. It's a pretty big snake.
Pretty big snake. Named Poison.
Yeah. Named Poison. And so he's trying to wrangle the snake while the president and first lady come to see their son to talk about the events that happened that day, meaning the incident at the clothing store and the mooning and whatnot. Yeah. And the president, he's just a concerned dad.
Luke, I face an election in 2 months, and I just cannot sustain another incident like this. It's just the timing is very bad. So you understand, don't you?
Don't you bite me! Oh! Oh!
Good boy, I thought so.
And then the son says something like, I get it. And he's like, good boy.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
And then the although Dad, POTUS, Paul, he doesn't give his son a hug. He shakes his hand.
He shakes his hand. We also find out that the kid has a dog. And that part of their deal was that, look, son, you wanted a dog. You have to walk the dog. Which I think was a very pragmatic deal for the first couple to make with their son. Because this isn't a nanny state, Ben.
Responsibility.
There's not a nanny in this White House, except for the fact that Sinbad is treated like a nanny.
Sinbad's basically a nanny.
And at one point even called a nanny as like a cover story. But this is not a nanny state. This is not a nanny president. He wants to teach individual ruggedism.
Personal responsibility.
Yeah. And then, of course, that dog winds up getting too close to the perimeter, triggers a Secret Service response, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
We don't see the president again until a fundraiser.
We don't. But I do think it's worth mentioning the fact that this 90s made movie does revolve around the radicalization of a minor via internet chat rooms. That does.
I don't think he's radicalized in any way. He's in a chat room for snakes, for snake lovers.
For snake lovers. But we do see him in a snake-loving chat room where he's talking to someone named Mongoose.
Mongoose 12.
The kid's code name or screen name is Viper, to which Mongoose types, cool screen name, how old are you?
Yeah, I wonder, who could Mongoose be?
Also, that's clearly what a pedophile would ask, the first question.
We'll jump ahead to let everybody know.
It's Busfield.
It's Timothy Busfield. This movie does not help Timothy Busfield. It makes me think there's not a job at Disney where you have to watch old movies to see if there's anything problematic or potentially problematic for what's in the news. I would think that if something like this is happening, that you would have a PR team or somebody say look, watch every piece of Timothy Busfield content that you have. And if it is deeply problematic, remove it. Remove it. That would be my advice. So that way, when maybe two podcasters watch the movie and they're like, oh shit, Timothy Busfield's in it? Well, what's the worst thing that could happen? You're like, oh, he's a little too into being rough with the kid and luring kids online. And yeah, hashtag first kid knew.
Yeah, here's my notes from the climax of the movie, which takes place in a shopping mall in the D.C. area, because that's where the kid is lured to by Mongoose. He sneaks out of the White House to go meet up with his friend to do virtual reality stuff at the mall, which is when it triggers an all-out alert by the Secret Service. Where's the first kid? No one knows where he is. Sinbad, fortunately, had placed a tracker on the kid earlier in the movie. So I think there's two things that pay off. One is Mongoose turns out to be a bad guy, surprise. And two is Sinbad, because the Secret Service equipment in this movie is very dated and antiquated and not very good, has to go to one of those spy shops at a mall to buy better tracking equipment from a former Secret Service agent who I think was forced to retire because he was injured in the line of duty and is hence also now in a wheelchair. That was my headcanon for all that. But no, it all leads up to this climax in the mall where, according to my notes, Busfield is way too credible as a man with an axe to grind versus a kid.
Yeah,
he was very, very naturalistic performance as a man on the edge.
Yes. He was like a dude from a different movie.
No.
He was a dude from real life.
He was tapping into something.
Anyway, so we see the president again at a fundraiser that Luke ruins by setting his snake loose in it. But we never see like any ramifications of it, which is kind of weird.
No, we don't. Yeah.
But
we do find out it's a first term, it's a re-election, he's going for 4 more years.
Yes.
So we're 2 months from an election at the end of a first term. We know that.
And then we don't see the president for a bit, but we learn something about the president during the fight between Zach Ty Bryan and the first kid.
Yes.
Because right before they have their little schoolyard fisticuffs, they're talking shit to each other, and Zach Ty calls the president a draft dodger.
Just like his dad, the draft dodger, right? First kid.
So we know the president did not fight in Vietnam, presumably.
No. Well, we don't know how old he is. He could just be a really good-looking 70-something.
He could be.
Fought in World War II.
That's just it. Yeah, maybe a different draft. Why would it be the Vietnam draft? But we also don't know how he was a draft dodger. Was it academic? Did he actually fly to Canada? Did he disobey? Pull a Cassius Clay and decide to just do some civil disobedience in there? Yeah. We do not know.
But after this fight, we do finally get to see the Oval Office because the First Lady brings Luke in along with the Secret Service to let the president know that he was involved in a fight. She just walks into the Oval. Nobody stops her. And the president is in the middle of a meeting with the Joint Chiefs.
Yeah. Bosnia gets referenced. A nuclear
treaty gets referenced.
Gets referenced by a general on the way out who looks down at the kid angrily. He's like, I guess that nuclear treaty can wait. So I don't know if he matched the kid.
It actually can wait. It actually literally can wait for a couple of minutes.
Everyone's pissed off with this kid.
They want to know exactly what happened. Sims's boss, who doesn't like him at all, says that, don't worry, we'll reassign him. You'll get somebody better to protect your child.
Yeah.
But the POTUS is like, whoa.
By Sinbad's boss, not Guillaume.
Yes, correct.
This would be the agent who's more directly in charge of all security at the White House, whereas Guillaume is more of the senior Secret Service agent.
Mentor figure, yes.
Yes.
But President Paul Davenport's like, gives him the benefit of the doubt. He's like, I'm sure Sims could have stopped it if he could.
Yeah.
Which Sinbad could have stopped it.
Yeah,
but he kind of wanted to see the little asshole get the snot kicked out of him. Also in this scene, the president establishes that him and the first lady will be gone for a month on the campaign trail.
Yes.
And that he'll be grounded, that the first kid will be grounded.
For that entire time.
Yeah.
Although what's interesting with the grounding is at this point, it's already been kind of made clear to us that he didn't have a social life before that. He was never leaving.
He wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. So the grounding just seems to be not really a substantial change for him.
I have more time online to hang out with my new cool friend Mongoose.
Yeah.
He gets me.
Yeah. He will get him.
He will get him.
Yeah. And then before we see the president again, this is when Sinbad and the kid, they bond more. They talk about the fact he likes a girl at school. They try to encourage him to ask a girl out. They go sneak out. They sneak out of the White House to go teach him boxing.
Yeah.
Which is weird because first he says he wants them to do normal kid stuff. But that normal kid stuff is going apparently to the same boxing gym from Captain America, Brave New World.
It's all weird. They give him a weird wig. All of it's dumb. Anyway,
Yeah.
I guess I have no concept of how time is running in this world, because a few scenes later, Luke's having a family dinner with the president and his
Yes.
mom and asks if he could go to the school dance, even though he's grounded, and they let him go.
Yes.
And Dad is trying to like bond with his son. He's asked if there's anyone special that he's going to ask.
Anybody special that you might be hoping that you could kind of sort of run across at the dance at the school?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He also asks about how everything's going with Sinbad, and he says all is good.
What have the two of you been doing together?
Oh, we do a lot of things. Stuff.
Stuff?
Stuff.
Stuff.
And then POTUS also has a conversation with Sinbad himself. Like, what? And both times that he asks, "What kind of stuff are you doing with my son?" The son says stuff. Sinbad says stuff, and the president's like, "Oh, well, I guess it's good stuff."
I guess it's good stuff.
Well, whatever stuff you do, it's got to be good stuff because it's working.
And I will have no follow-up questions about what kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, before Sinbad comes into the office, we get a little cameo.
Sort of. Speaking of archive footage,
Yeah.
we see them repurposing some footage of Bill Clinton telephonically video calling, so a predecessor to FaceTiming and Zooming, with the current president. And what does Bill seem to be worried about, Ben?
Well, it's been at least 3. We don't know exactly what year it is, but we know it has to be at least 3 years since Bill Clinton was president, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to know where his saxophone is. He
still
can't
can't find
find
his
it. He thinks
saxophone.
it could be in a closet somewhere
Or under the bed.
or under the bed.
I don't know. I'll look for it, Bill.
Well, could you check again for me, Paul? That saxophone really means a lot to me. I could swear I left it in the closet.
Bill, we'll look for it, and I'll call you back, all right? I gotta go. Yeah?
Check under the bed.
Bye-bye. Best to Hillary.
Thank you.
And even though his voice does seem to change midway through the conversation from when the bad voice impersonator gets taken over by the actual quote from the real Bill. It looked like they used a clip from like a CNN talk show or something. Like maybe it was Larry
It was
King.
all very strange because actually you didn't need the scene at all.
No,
but
you didn't need.
It was
like-
only because like they also got Sonny Bono to like sign on for his
It's like if we have a
cameo, and that
Democrat,
like led right into it.
Well, it's like if we have a Democrat and a Republican, then that will balance things for the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and by the way, Sinbad is way more excited to meet Sonny Bono than he is to meet the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all weird.
right.
And then we don't even see him again, the president, at all. That's his last scene in the movie.
Yeah, we don't see him again.
We find out. We find out at the end of the movie that Paul Davenport wants Sinbad on his detail.
Yes,
but instead, Sinbad wants to stay with the first kid. It just feels like the end of a pilot.
I have to, at least before we move on to analyzing this movie, this will get cut, but whatever. I have to talk about the bullet time sequence. At the end of the movie, he does have to take a bullet. Sinbad does have to take a bullet for the kid.
Yes.
And the way they do the bullet time sequence is they show the bullet coming out of the gun before Sinbad starts running.
Yes.
Implying that Sinbad is able to run faster than a speeding bullet.
Do you understand why he could do that, though?
I do not.
Because Sinbad is a genie named Shazam, and he has special skills.
This is a presidential favor.
What do we think the background is of President Paul Davenport?
I think they want us to believe that he was a governor from a state that's not here. So he's not like a senator or a congressman where the son would already be going to local schools for a while now.
Yeah.
Also, I guess he had somewhat of a meteoric rise because the son is not used to this at all, this kind of attention. That said, if he's already been in office for 3 years now and he's 13, he would have been about 9 or 10 when elected. So I can see how maybe entering puberty, especially if they have that sequence, that bit where they just show him popping a zit for no reason whatsoever. I thought that was going to be the reason why he couldn't go to the school dance.
Yeah.
Nope. It's not. It's because of this fake bomb threat. That never gets resolved, by the way. We never find out if it was a real bomb or not. I'll go with governor from a relatively small state.
See, governor from Northeast, I think New England, let's say a relatively larger state. he was giving me like Bill Weld vibes.
Okay.
He was the governor of Massachusetts in the 90s, probably socially liberal, fiscally conservative, still wants open to talking and negotiating. Looks like he has a good relationship with his military folks.
Yeah.
To me, he seems like a Republican governor from a purple. At the time, Massachusetts was purple. It typically has had, other than like Dukakis, during that time frame, 90s into 2000s, they had Republican governors.
Look, if he's a Republican or a Democrat, I think we can safely say that he's still in the mid-90s idea of a centrist.
Yeah.
He's very cordial with Bill, though.
Yeah.
It felt like, I mean, not that Bill can't be friends with Republicans, because I think one of the critiques of today's younger generation who considers them liberal is that Bill is way too far to the right and way too cozy with other.
Yeah, if you're at the center, you're way too far to the right.
Yeah. Well, I think his friendship with the Bush, with both Bushes, I think, annoys certain people. I don't know how much more we can really ascertain about his background or party, but I will say, and this is going to kind of combine it with the whole, what does this say about 1996 of it all? And that is the fact that this movie did come out late August of 96, an election year, a couple months before an election, just like in the movie.
Yeah.
So at the time it came out, they didn't know if Bill would be getting a second term or not.
No,
so
he's up against Bob Dole.
Well, my first question would have been, presuming this is the president who follows Bill, and we know Bill had 2 terms. That means that this guy took office in 2000, or elected in 2000, took office in 2001. My first question, and that this movie takes place then.
That's my question, whether he had to do with 9/11.
Yeah, this in 2004. Did 9/11 happen on this guy's watch?
In my like reconfiguring of everything, because I was like, there's no way that they would know this because they wrote this in 1994, 1994-ish, 93. Who knows when they wrote it? They made it in 1995 to come out in 1996. But if Clinton had two terms, we're cutting it then. They were like, oh, he must have had a really rough like first year in office.
The really awkward thing, if they had just, instead of referencing Bosnia, if in that meeting with the generals, they'd referenced the 93 World Trade Center bombing. Yeah. So it's just once like, well, the World Trade Center thing, Mr. President, that would have really kind of been spooky. Yeah. Because then it would be like they were talking about 9/11 on this guy's watch. Which, if he was a Republican, I can see him definitely being, like, if you told me this movie came out in 2002, I'd be like, yeah, he's modeled after George W. Bush. And these are like the Bush daughters, which I think actually age-wise not that far off, actually. And it would have made sense. And the First Lady is very much like, the dynamic between the President and the First Lady is very much like Laura and George Jr. She does a librarian-esque quality to her. Wasn't Laura Bush a librarian or something like that?
She was. Yeah.
But back to this though. So that was my first reading. But if you go with the alternative, that they thought that Bill might have been a one-termer, and he's coming in. That means this movie now takes place in 2000, and that does change things quite a bit. And then I had a third option.
Ooh.
Bill does get a second term, but he doesn't get out of it. Because in this world...
This is VP.
No. In this world, not only is he impeached to the point of being removed from office, but so is Gore. So this guy was a Speaker of the House from a different party who was then brought in, which explains why Bill left in such a hurry. He doesn't know where his saxophone is. So in a weird way, I think the whole saxophone thing points to a rushed exit and a successful impeachment of Bill Clinton. It also explains why this guy is actually facing his first election as a re-election, because he wasn't originally elected in 96.
Ooh. I like this.
And that's why the kid isn't used to the whole presidential politics and campaigning thing at all.
He's like, my dad was just a representative from Rhode Island.
Yeah. In fact, I was able to go to school back in my, home district, for most of that.
Yeah, I'm just a kid from Providence, Rhode Island. I don't know anything about this big city, D.C.
Yeah. So that's what I think it says about 96. I think it says that Bill Clinton, your time is coming. You're going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think it's about 96?
Do we like this president?
Oh, you want to go straight into legacy and approval ratings?
Keep the sucker moving.
He's inoffensive. So I definitely think that, a little milquetoast. So I definitely think that is the kind of president that if the biggest scandal he has to worry about is antics involving his son shopping for clothes or his son's snake getting loose at a fundraiser. Oh my goodness. When it turns into like a Marx Brothers movie, not Marx Brothers, Three Stooges movie, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. With, fancy people wearing fancy tuxedos, spitting out their drinks.
I'm shocked that nobody had a monocle. Like, that's how ridiculous it was.
Yeah. Oh, snake, I'm going to faint. And then the Sinbad yells poison because that's the snake's name. But people hear poison. They think their food has been poisoned and they all start throwing up at the same time. But I don't know if he has the juice for a second term. But I do know it's not because there's any personal animus towards this being a scandal-ridden president.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting to me that they didn't. It would have been very easy to have shown an opponent through, like, on TV or whatever to show like that he has like a nice family that never gets into trouble and is like bored. Like it could have been like this
not
dichotomy
only easy,
between these two.
Imagine if that was Busfield's thing, teaming up with the opponent to embarrass the president so he can get back in with the next president.
Yeah.
As opposed to the thing he does now where he just gets drunk. He's constantly, like, from the moment he gets fired, he's always
like
drunk.
He's like sweaty and drunk.
He makes the joke that he doesn't drink Harvey Wallbangers. He drinks Harvey Oswald's. Why, man? Because it's got 3 shots.
3 shots.
Which, by the way, if you're a Secret Service agent making that joke,
Too
okay.
soon.
Way too soon. Do you think he gets reelected?
I do. I think it's just...
Because he's not stressed out
There's no
about the
reason
election.
to think that he doesn't get reelected.
They're treating the election as if it's almost... They're not treating it as tough. No one's saying it's behind.
Yeah.
He's not stressed out. It's like a pro forma campaign just to do the bare minimum while he's still also, being an executive, doing his meetings.
And he also still has time for family dinners at the White House.
So that implies he's either pulling a Cuomo and taking his eye off the ball enough that he comes across as, detached, and that leads to him losing by a pretty big margin, or he's coasting, rightly so, because he doesn't have to.
I mean, let's put it this way: he's so confident that he's going to win that he's ready to shake up his own Secret Service detail by bringing Sinbad on.
Yeah.
What's your approval rating of this president?
As of the events of this movie, so pre-election, I do think he's pulling in the middle of the road. I think he's probably like a 42, 43 approval, which puts him within shot of being reelected because you have all the people with no opinions who could go either way and shake it. Yeah.
I think he's so boring and like middle of the road that he's above 50. There doesn't seem to be, if the biggest thing they're worried about is
I think
their kid mooning somebody. That's the biggest problem.
It's the biggest problem, but I think the issue there is for more boring presidents is you get a very high neutral number. People who just have no opinion. So I think it might be something like you'll have low unfavorables, to your point. So it might be like 42% approving, 30% no opinion, and then another 20-something of disapproval.
Yeah.
So his approval could be twice his disapproval, but you still have a significant number of people who go either way when they actually show up to vote.
Well, look, he bridges parties. He talks to Clinton. He talks to Sonny Bono.
Yeah.
Like everybody, he works with everybody.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah,
despite the fact that he's a draft dodger.
He's a draft dodger. But that said, if he's a draft dodger because he was like, say, in medical school, or, like I think what screwed Clinton is his draft dodging involved him literally traveling the world as a Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah.
It looks like he was running from something and not just furthering his education. Whereas if your academic exemption is because you're getting an advanced degree and something concrete.
It also came up because he was running against World War II war hero in
both
George
times.
Bush. Both times,
Yeah.
You're right. Both times he was running against war heroes.
And guess what? It didn't hurt him.
And guess what? Guess who's still alive? Do you think your kids would enjoy this movie?
No, I didn't. I intentionally did not watch. I watched like the first 10 minutes just to feel it out. You're like, no, they're not going to like this. They're going to be bored to death.
Bored to death.
It's slow moving. It doesn't really have a story.
Sinbad's not going to make them laugh? Sinbad's
because they have no appreciation for Sinbad from the 90s. There's no nostalgia factor from them. To them, it's just seeing a guy like trying to squeak out free food from people who work at the mall, a place that my kids don't even really like. Like the mall would mean nothing to them. The whole thing with the snake, they're going to think is like forced and dumb. Even them they'll see it coming. Oh, is that snake going to get out at a big event somewhere? There's no real comedic set pieces. The kid's not charismatic enough to make them want to like have any sort of wish fulfillment factor of wanting to be like the kid or in the kid's shoes. Despite the fact that they know their dad hosts a podcast about fake presidents, they have no fascination about the office of the president whatsoever. Probably because they grown up at a time where just thinking about the president causes grown-ups to immediately stop talking and walk away.
Well, my kids tried watching it.
Oh,
but,
they did?
But Timothy Busfield really creeped him out.
They weren't on the bus, Ben?
No, they were not on the bus. And that's been Fake Presidents.
I've been Eric Buckman.
I've been Ben Oren.
Artwork by Ann Hecker.
Yes, our music is always by Johnny Sadoff. You could find us on socials, various socials. Which ones? Instagram. Is that the best one? I don't even like any of the socials anymore.
Well, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads is where we'll put a perfunctory post about the episode, but also where you can reach us. Like, even though if we don't post that often, we read our messages, read our DMs, slide into our DMs. Or just email us at fakepresidents@gmail.com. Suggest a movie to us. For example, if you want to know why we aren't doing something like, say, Greenland with Gerard Butler, email us and ask us why we aren't doing Greenland. And I will write back and say, because there's no fake president.
There's no fake president. Right?
Yeah, but it's about an asteroid coming to Earth.
But if you like receiving emails, we'll still email you back, even though we just told you why we're not doing it.
Right. But if you want to suggest a movie that does have a fake president in it, we will do it, especially if that movie's actually streaming somewhere.
But everybody, you could also please rate and review and subscribe.
Yeah, please do.
This was a fun episode. We learned a lot.
We learned a lot about
what they knew in 1995, 1996 about Timothy Busfield. # first kid knew.
Thank you, Ben. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye. So this was directed by DME, David Mickey Evans.
I like that. Is that his nickname? That's a great nickname.
Not written by DME.
No.
Because at the same year this came out, he wrote a movie that was then directed by somebody else.
There's Radio Flyer?
Radio Flyer was a couple of years earlier. That was a movie he was supposed to direct, be his directorial debut, until it was snaked right out of him by, what's his name, who directed?
Donner?
Richard Donner. Yeah, Dick Donner came in and it's like, no, I want to do Radio Flyer. I did Superman. I did Lethal Weapon. I got to do Radio Flyer.
Give me the flyer.
Apparently that was a big, like this guy sold 2 scripts back to back for like $1 million each in the early 90s, Radio Flyer and Sandlot. But then he also wrote a movie. It came out the same year as this movie, Ed. The Matt LeBlanc baseball movie where he has to share a hotel room with his teammate, the chimpanzee, who also played on the same team. The Matt LeBlanc minor league. But by the way, Ben, can you guess what the tagline was for Ed, the chimpanzee playing baseball movie? Don't even try. You'll never get it. The one they went with.
Yeah.
Minor league, major friendship.
Oh my goodness. They didn't go for a monkey pun?
They didn't monkey around with this one. Also because it's a chimpanzee, technically not a monkey. And, probably because clearly Matt LeBlanc already had the experience working with a monkey on Friends.
Friends, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
That was a little monkey, though. This is a big monkey.
That was an act. Well,
maybe that's how he got the job. They're looking at actors' resumes from the mid '90s. They're like, Johnny Depp. He's done some work before. Looking at skills, no monkey work. Okay, moving on. Who else do we got here? We got Keanu Reeves again. No monkey work. Who's next? Matt LeBlanc. He's worked with a monkey.
It's on his headshot.
Sign him up.
Yeah, but yeah,
because everybody, for people who don't work in Hollywood, actors have resumes, and at the bottom it says their skills.
Yeah,
and which animals they've worked with.